Hello, Catherine and Kristen, and fellow guests. This is Andrew Dowis for EDU 643 Instructional Design course of Spring 2016. This is my online lesson for social and global artwork. A little bit about me. I was raised in Franklin, Michigan, and I grew up knowing I wanted to be in the education field. I truly wanted to be a teacher when I graduated high school. In 2011, I graduated from Saginaw Valley State University with my visual arts teaching degree. After not finding a teaching career like many other my classmates, I ventured into a new job as a space management coordinator for a distribution company. After a short time with the company, I applied for a teaching position in Bay City, and I am currently in my third year of teaching and could not be happier. During this time, I married my college sweetheart, had a son, and have another child due June 21st of 2016. It's only 8 weeks away and I'm getting kind of nervous. As I said, I'm in my third year at Bay City Central High School, where I teach 9th through 12th grade visual arts. All my classes are inclusion, with approximately 25 to 30% of students needing accommodations. I also have 4 to 9 students that are homebound per year, in which I must send appropriate work home for them to complete for a credit. I am scheduled with mainly 4 different courses: an introductory course to visual arts, drawing, painting, or 3-dimensional design. I no longer have any clay classes because my kiln no longer is working. When I became a teacher at Bay City Central, I came at a crossing point. The main focus at my school right now is to incorporate more reading into every class and have students read for knowledge, which has been brought to the attention because of the scores on the ACT and the work keys, the Michigan tests. The switch from the ACT to the SAT in the state of Michigan has brought even more stress to curriculum development because the reading articles of the new SAT may be pulled from a wide range of subject matter, including art. This being said, students seem to be able to read, analyze, interpret, and emblematize informational readings. Another intrinsic motivator for my lesson has been great expectations. My school is currently working on a model school title, and because of this, the best practices 4 and 5 have been a focus in my teaching methods. Another key factor in my lesson planning has been our new teacher educator position, which she has been performing standard focuses for all classes. One of the things we have discussed is how all teachers, including myself, needs to re-educate themselves on standards in order to best suit our students. When determining my design, my learning objectives for this lesson were a combination of our school goals and the Michigan Visual Arts Standards. The original learning objectives for this lesson are to identify social and global issues using appropriate websites and news articles, identify facts and use them to complete a thesis, incorporate resources, reflect, and edit materials to convey and symbolize a visual representation, and to evaluate the effectiveness of visual representation. The standards I will show in the website. When designing this lesson, my learning objectives were a combination of school goals and the Michigan Visual Arts Standards. The learning objectives for this lesson are to identify social and global issues using appropriate websites and news articles, identify facts and use them to complete a thesis, incorporate resources, reflect, and edit materials to convey and symbolize a visual representation, and to evaluate the effectiveness of a visual representation. I will also identify the visual arts standards in the website. I have not changed my design, however, this motion right here is a repetition where students will constantly edit and reflect on artwork while working. Furthermore, I also did change that this course will be for a painting class rather than an introductory to visual arts class, mainly for the fact that all introductory courses will touch on these prerequisites, while a painting course, all students have already acquired this knowledge. When developing this website, I chose Wix versus Weebly, mainly because of recommendations based from friends and other college classes. Using the website was easy with many in-stock images and photos that suited my website well. I was able to embed material that I created as well as material that we are currently using in my school and YouTube videos. I chose not to use GIFs and animations mainly because I felt that they were a distraction. I've used these in prior lessons and they have caused students to get off topic. I did have some editorial changes that I still am working on. More specifically, the change from a computer to a mobile device layout is different. In the editing portion of the Wix website, you are able to adapt your website to a mobile device in which you have to change the position and layout of your website. Here is the demo. This is the Social and Global Artwork website. There is a home, step 1, step 2, step 3, more, step 4, resources, and Michigan State standards. The home page has what is happening around us, what we're actually going to be doing, as well as the objectives. This list is designed for students to create a piece of art that centers around a current social or global issue that they have a passion for. The list is endless, but examples of topics could include global warming, immigration policy, religion, LGBT, race relations, and the list goes on. There is also a PDF here that outlines the entire lesson. On to step 1, Social and Global Artwork. Here, students are going to take a pretest. The pretest just shows that they can read for understanding, as well as the Quidoblo website that allows them to track their answers, and I can track their answers as well. This is not letting me do this right now because I am still logged into Quidoblo under my username, but at the end they were able to share their information, share this quiz. Now we're on to step 2 from step 1. All the buttons are on every page. If you go back to step 1, you can click down here or you can click up top. As I said, step 2, students are going to start researching their ideas here. Any issues that they feel is important to them. If they are completely clueless, they can always look at these websites that have major news events from around the world. CNN Student News. If you click on the website, is a news broadcast every day, 10 minutes. It always ends with puns. It's always great for students. They always laugh. I also included the World News Daily, which is a ton of links, multiple topics. They can further their research. Students are always welcome to do their own research on independent websites, but I always recommend they double check their facts and make sure they're not satire. On to step 3. Once again, links above and throughout the page. Develop and create. Students here will be developing their thesis. I mentioned that students should not be creating a thesis based strictly on opinion. So here we are on step 3, develop and create. So we can click on any link anywhere. Developing your thesis. So I instruct students to develop a thesis based off of facts, not opinions. I do provide 2 examples here. Red obviously is bad, green is good. They will be turning in these thesis statements along with a minimum of 7 facts. This will be explained on step 4. Furthermore, when they're creating the rough draft, I do have some intrinsic questions that they need to answer. These are not turned in, but this is part of the reflect and editing phase of the development plan. So we're on to step 4. Create and evaluate your final painting. Using your rough draft, create your final painting. This is something that's going to be done in class. The first couple sections, the reading for understanding, the news, and developing create can be done outside of class. It can be done in the computer lab, which is originally designed for. But for students that are homebound or for students that have missed class due to illness or excused absences, these 3 steps can all be done prior. So once they've completed steps 1 through 3, now they're finally going to create their final painting. Once students are finished with steps 1, 2, and 3, they're ready to finish the lesson. Using the rough draft to create their final painting. Once completed, they're going to perform a critique. The critique is solo, however, it is encouraged that they use their peers to assist. Following the critique, students will use the rubric to grade themselves. Based off of every performance objective, they will grade themselves in the student rubric below. Here is an example of what a completed rubric would look like for each student and how other students have scored on it, and then they would share it. Furthermore, once they're completed with their project, they're going to upload it, as I said before, to the Google Slides document. Here, we'll take students to the link for Google Slides where they must be signed in with their Bay City Central student ID. Each page has the title, and then they would upload, they would insert the image from their painting. Down below, their name, their class, their artwork title, their thesis statement, and then the 7 facts that they use to come up with their idea. I do note that I can view all edit history. We have a 12-week trimester at our school, and beginning with the second term, students will begin this lesson. Students have had ample time to achieve background knowledge and are ready to show intent. I just started implementing this lesson in my current painting classes. A lot of students are gung-ho. They're ready to debate, and we have an open forum in my class. I talk with all students about all subjects, and I try to show very little emotion in anything. I let them do all the questioning, and I just question their questions. It is a Socratic questioning type of style. I do have students that are hesitant, mainly because they don't want to copy others. A lot of students right now are currently working on global warming and pollution, and they don't want to have to feel like they're in anybody else's shadow. Other students have no clue what they want to do, mainly because they just have never had this type of lesson before. I have talked to a homebound teacher recently, and I have had to give further explanation. The further explanation mainly has to do with not showing examples of student work. I did not show student work mainly because I don't want to inspire them to do something that I chose. I want them to choose their own topics, and I want to stay as neutral as possible. When talking with my evaluators, they felt that the website did align with learning objectives and standards. They felt the information was organized in a clear and logical way. They were able to follow the website to the best of their ability. There was one error, however, they graded it a strongly agree in this section. The assessment of students' ability was subject to disparities, mainly because students did not want to grade themselves poorly. This was a dilemma. However, I feel that it's appropriate for students to be able to critique themselves based on the graphic, sound, and animation. Students felt that it wasn't too busy, as well as educators. They didn't want too many things going on at once. They wanted to be able to simply follow everything. This is where we have the disparity. One of the homebound students felt that it wasn't clear to navigate. However, when talking with the homebound teacher, she felt that the student was trying to get out of the assignment rather than actually doing the work. So it's hard to clear up the issue until further notice. When actually considering the valuable, if this was a valuable resource, many teachers thought this was amazing, and they actually want me to teach them how to create their own website. So overall, I think it was a success.